basically in this demo class, we will actually help you to understand what is an ETL and what are the different ETL tools that are available in the market, and how Informatica share is there in the market as per the Gartner report. How many number of projects, or what is the market share of Informatica PowerCenter, and we will also understand what are the concepts that we are going to cover as part of this training, and all these things, and what is a prerequisite for attending the Informatica PowerCenter training. All these things we'll understand in detail when we do this. So let me just start with it. So I hope everybody is aware that like we are actually here to learn or understand what is a Informatica Power Center. See, Informatica has a lot of products, so people will get confused that when you say Informatica, it is nothing but an Informatica Power Center. One second. All right. So let's get started. This what basically that we were talking about the. So Informatica has a lot of different other products. So we are actually learning here the Informatica Power Center, and we are going to learn the latest version that is available in the market, that is your Informatica 961. Still most of the training companies are not providing the 961, so we are providing the training on the Informatica Power Center 961. This is the latest version which is just released 2 months ago. And if you talk about it, so let's try and understand what is an Informatica Power Center is all about, and what are the prerequisites for understanding the Informatica Power Center training and all these things. So all of you might have already done some analysis that Informatica Power Center is an ETL tool for integrating the data into the data warehouse. Okay. So prerequisite to build your career in this Informatica Power Center is that your database knowledge. So you need to know what is RDBMS, what are the different databases that are available in the market, and how to communicate with the databases. That is nothing but you need to know SQL. So in SQL, basically you need to understand, what is how to read the data from join, how to read the data from multiple tables, how to use the aggregate functions, and how to prepare the DDL scripts for creating the tables. All these things you need to understand all these things. So this is a prerequisite for you to understand, because when you step into the Informatica Power Center, you are going to understand about the different databases, and you will be communicating with the different databases. So let me give you a background about what is a database is all about, if there is any a basic learners here. So database is something that, as we know already, that it stores the data in the form of tables, stores the data uh, in the form of tables. This is called as a DBMS. And eventually the DBMS is converted as an RDBMS, because when we store the data in the databases, there will be a relationship which exists between one table to the other table. That's why it is called as an RDBMS. RDBMS stands for a relational database management system. So there are different RDBMS products which are available in the market. So if you talk about the different databases from the different companies, so you have Oracle, which is from Oracle Corporation, which is a very popular database, and you have Teradata from Teradata Corporation, and you have SQL Server from Microsoft, and you also have a Sybase from SAP, and likewise you have a Greenplum, Netezza, So these are all the different databases which are available in the market. So you might have more than 20 to 50 databases which are available in the market. All these databases are relational in nature, which means they store the data in the form of tables, and there will be a relationship which exists between a one table to the other table. So what do you mean by a table? Table is nothing but which will store the data just like your Excel file, where you have a columns and rows. That's called as a table. So in order to communicate with these databases, right, you need a language to communicate. That language is nothing but a SQL. So SQL is called as a structured query language, which we use structured query language, that is called as an SQL. So SQL is actually invented, or found by IBM. It's invented by the IBM in way back in 1970s. So using this SQL, you can communicate with any database. It's like a universal language to communicate with any type of a DBMS which are available. So when you talk about an SQL, SQL is about the commands. You will have a different commands which helps you to do the operations on the database level. So I'm not going in detail about it, like what commands you use it. It's basically helps you to create the tables. It basically helps you to add the data to the tables. It basically helps you to modify the data, delete the data, read the data. All these kind of operations you can do it on the databases. So in order to do all these actions on the databases, we needed a SQL. So in case if anybody is not familiar with the SQL also, we will also help you to understand. We will provide you the e-learning videos for a SQL, where you can actually learn the SQL on your own, and we will also provide you the setup in case if anybody is not in case if anybody is not familiar with it. So we will provide you the e-learning videos, so where you can actually understand the SQL on your own. And we will also help you to practice the hands-on lab and the setup what is required for you to understand everything. That will be provided as a complementary part, which you have to learn it on your own. If you would like to attend the live classes, then there are the charges for it. But if you're enrolling for Informatica PowerCenter and you want to brush up on the SQL things, we will provide you the free e-learning curriculum where you can actually learn SQL as a complementary part, right? So that is about the SQL part. So once you know about the databases and SQL, then it is very easy to understand the Informatica PowerCenter. So let's talk about the data warehouse and what is a ETL first. Then we'll step into Informatica PowerCenter. So you might have heard about these terms. I mean, before you actually plan to attend the Informatica. So data warehouse is nothing but the database which stores the data for analysis. So it's basically for analyzing the data. For analyzing the data, we store the data in the data warehouse. So basically, when you talk about the uh, it's basically, you'll actually integrate the data from the different systems and store the data in a centralized database, which helps you to analyze about your business. So when you say analysis, what kind of analysis you carry out on that? So it's basically that to find out the profits of your business, or to find out the it's basically in order to find out the total regional wise sales, or any kind of analysis that you would like to understand about your business, you'll actually use a warehouse for understanding it. So in a simple terms, data warehouse is nothing but the database from where you're collecting the data from different systems and storing in the form of a tables. That's called as a data warehouse. So when you talk about a data warehouse, which database I can choose it as a data warehouse? I can choose any database as a data warehouse. Like I can choose Oracle as my data warehouse, or I can choose Teradata as my data warehouse, or I can choose SQL Server as my data warehouse, because it's nothing but the database, right? So when I'm building my data warehouse, I can choose any type of a database for storing the data. So let's talk about to understand what is an ETL, you need to get familiar with the terms called as a transactional system and an analytical system. So when you talk about a transactional system, that in a technical terms we call it as an OLTP. So OLTP stands for a online transaction processing system. If you talk about online transaction processing system, if you talk about this one, basically online transaction processing system. See, basically the examples for online transaction processing system is that where the frequent transactions are happening. So your ATM withdrawal application is called as a transactional application, and your e-commerce application like a Flipkart, Amazon, eBay, all these are all the, you can call them as a transactional application. Or your airline reservation systems like yatra.com, Traveliyari, all these kind of systems which are there, so you can also call them as a transactional application. Or your internet banking system which you actually use, that is also a transaction oriented application. So basically why do we call them as a transaction oriented application is because there will be a frequent transactions happening. What do you mean by a transaction in a technical term? It is nothing but adding the data, updating the data, or deleting the data, that is termed as a transaction. So a group of DML statements in the technical term, we call it as a transaction. So if you talk about a Flipkart system or an Amazon system, as a customer, we go to the amazon.com, we try to purchase some product. That is nothing but you're creating an order for amazon.com. That's nothing but a transaction. So when you talk about an internet banking system, so basically the internet banking, you actually transfer the funds from one account to the other account. That's nothing but a transaction. So when you talk about airline reservation system, you actually book a ticket from one place to the other place. That is nothing but a transaction. So OLTPs, these are called as a transaction oriented applications. Basically it will help you to create the transactions. You basically keep performing the transactions on those systems. That's why we call it as an OLTP, online transaction. So, and another thing is called as a OLAP, which it is called as an online analytical processing system. Online analytical processing system, which is called as a OLAP. So online analytical processing system is nothing but a data warehouse where we actually analyze the data to understand the business metrics, to understand the how the business is doing and everything. We actually take care of the OLAP, that is your online analytical processing system, which is called as a OLAP. Now, you know that what is an OLTP and what is the OLAP. Let's try to understand what do you mean by the what do you mean by a ETL here. So if you go to the let me just give you a simple paint diagram to understand the this one. Let's say you know that Amazon is a kind of a global online retailer where they have operations in US, they have operations in India, they have operations in Europe, Australia, like this. They have operations everywhere. So what when you talk about this one, let's say I have the details called as, let's say amazon.com is for a US, and when you talk about amazon.in, so this is basically the details for a amazon.in is for a India. Let's say amazon.eu or AU, that's for a Europe and Australia, which it is there. So now assume that these are the transactional systems which they have implemented for each region to continue their business or to make their business or to run their business. They actually created it. So if you talk about amazon.com, assume that all amazon.com orders and everything is being created on Oracle ERP system, right? So this is an Oracle ERP system which they have. And when you talk about amazon.in, let's say they have actually done in the SAP ERP system for carrying out all the orders and everything. Okay, so this here also there will be a frequently the Indian customers will be visiting Amazon, and then they will be creating the orders for them. And similarly the amazon.eu, let's say that because of the huge population here and all, which they might be using mainframe system to handle all these orders and everything. So if you see, their transactional data is being distributed across the multiple applications. If you see here, the US data is being stored here. Now see that, let's say that Amazon has actually decided to understand how much revenue that they're generating from the each region, and they want to compare the region which they're generating from India versus US, India versus Europe, India versus Australia. Like that, they want to analyze their data, and at the same time they want to understand where they are making more revenue by selling the Apple products, where customers are liking more Apple products, or what is the top 10 selling products in India, what is the top 10 selling products in US. These kind of analysis they want to do it, so in order to improve their business. So in order to improve, in order to do all these kind of analysis, you need a centralized application that is nothing but your warehouse. So what we do is, as a ETL developer, we are going to integrate the transactional data from all these applications, and we'll integrate the data from all these transactional application into a centralized database that could be anything, whether it could be a Teradata, or it could be a Oracle database, or it could be an SQL Server database. Let's say we are using Teradata as our data warehouse. Now I'm integrating the data from all these transactional applications into a centralized database that is your data warehouse. So the process of integrating this data from the different transactional system, or your this process is called as an ETL. ETL stands for the extraction, and you call this as a transformation, and L stands for a load. So what do you mean by extraction? Extraction is nothing but the reading of data from all these transactional system, and transformation means modifying the data, or modifying it to your required format, or massaging the data, uh, or removing the duplicate data if you have any, or the validating the data as per your business rules. That's called as a transformation. And L stands for a load. Loading is nothing but, again, you basically go and insert the data into the tables which is present in your data warehouse. Inserting, updating, deleting a data is called as a termed as an ETL. So the process of this integration of data from these transactional systems into a warehouse can be done by using any ETL tool. So there are so many ETL tools which are available in the market. So if you talk about the different ETL tools, which it is called as, you have Informatica PowerCenter, which is a ETL tool which is available in the market, very popular ETL tool, and currently it has, okay, let's say the data stage from IBM. This is also another, ETL tool which is there, and you also have Ab Initio is another ETL tool which you have, and you also have a BODS, Business Objects Data Services, that is from SAP. Ab Initio is from Ab Initio Corporation. This is from IBM. And you also have another tool called as an ODI, Oracle Data Integrator. This is from Oracle Corporation. And you also have a SnapLogic ETL. So this is a ETL from the SnapLogic company. And you also have this one, Pervasive Data Integrator. So this is another ETL tool what you have. And likewise, some open source tools also there, which is not a licensed versions, which is called as a Talent. That is also another open source tool which it is there. And you also have a Jasper. It is also an open source tool which is available. Likewise, you might have hundreds of tools which are available in the market. All these ETL tools which helps you to integrate the data from the different transactional systems, or a different systems, into a centralized data warehouse. This is called as an ETL. So now you understand what is the process of ETL means. It's a basically, as an ETL developer, or as an Informatica PowerCenter developer, if you want to integrate the data from these transactional systems into this, all your duty is that read the data from all these transactional systems and integrate the data. See, it is not only integrates the data from the only the transactional systems, it can also integrate the data from flat files and XML files into a centralized database, which it is called as a data warehouse. It can also integrate the data from any type of a data format into a data warehouse. So all your ETL tools are compatible to do that, to do this. So this is more about the uh, ETL process. Now it is good that you have integrated all the transactional data. So, and you understand that warehouse is used for analysis. So what kind of analysis will be carried out on the data warehouse? What kind of analysis will be carried out? So if you try to see this, what kind of analysis, basically once you load the data, for generating the reports and everything, for generating the reports, from this to understand, we use again another set of tools called as a BI tools. BI stands for a business intelligence tools, or a OLAP tools, which it is called as. So BI tools, which it is there. So when you talk about the different BI tools, uh, all these tools, what it does is it will read the data from your data warehouse and show to the business user in the form of a report. A report can be anything. So it can be, it's like, it can be in the form of a tabular format. You'll show that, okay, India this much revenue, US let's say $100 million revenue, Europe $200 million revenue. Likewise, it's a tabular format which you'll show. Or you can also show in the bar graph, or it can be pie charts. So any type of a report can be generated by using all your BI tools. So business users like your CEO, sales distribution managers, marketing managers, or a supply chain management, manufacturing directors and everything, they use BI tools to understand what report, I mean, to verify the data in the data warehouse. So what kind of BI tools, or BI tools are also in the simple terms is called as a reporting tools, or it is also called as a OLAP tools. So when you talk about it, it is OBIE, which is an Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition, and you also have Cognos from IBM, uh, and you also have the other tools like Bevo, Business Objects, Tableau, ClickView. So there are again hundreds of BI tools which are available in the market, which helps you to generate the data or generate the reports in a it will help you to visualize your data. Basically, data visualization tools, so many are available, which helps you to do the reporting. So when you talk about the data warehouse is not a technology. Data warehouse is just a process which is being implemented to analyze your data. It is a combination of ETL plus a BI. So when you talk about any data warehousing project, it will have two things. One is a ETL as well as a BI products. So, so in this course, we'll concentrate more on the ETL role, developer responsibilities and everything. So how to integrate the data from the different transactional systems into the data warehouse, that we will define and then do that. So this is pretty much about the ETL process or this thing. So when you talk about the technology that is being used, it is nothing but what type of database that you are using to store the data, and what ETL tool you are using to integrate the data, and what BI tool that you are using with to generate the reports. So this is called as a ETL tools and the BI tools technology which you have to generate it. So when you talk about the technology which is used, it's a database that is being used, or it's a BI tool which is being used, or it's a ETL tool which is being used. So now when you talk about the market share, as per Gartner report, Informatica PowerCenter is a leader in the ETL industry, wherein you have a 40% of the ETL market is owned by the Informatica PowerCenter, and it is also having more than 5,000 customers worldwide who are using Informatica PowerCenter. And Informatica PowerCenter is available in the uh, cloud version as well. You can also use a cloud version of Informatica PowerCenter ETL. So we'll understand that what are the different versions of the Informatica PowerCenter which is available. So if you see the amount of jobs which are available in the market for Informatica PowerCenter will be high, and also the supply is also high, in the sense like the people who learn the Informatica PowerCenter is easy, in the sense like you don't need to write much of the coding, you don't need to write much of the scripting in case of an Informatica PowerCenter compared to other tools like Ab initio and all. In the Ab initio, you must write a Unix shell scripts and everything to do that, but Informatica PowerCenter is a very easy tool which is just a completely a user interface or a GUI which you actually use to create the programs for integrating the data, and it has a powerful engine compared to other ETL tools for processing the bulk loads and everything. But suppose if you want to integrate the millions and millions of record or billions of records from the transactional system, Informatica PowerCenter is powerful to integrate the data compared to the tools like ODI, data stage and all. So that is advantages with the Informatica PowerCenter compared to that. So that is the reason most of the companies will prefer to go with Informatica PowerCenter, because the amount of effort you require to build the programs is also less compared to other tools. So in Ab initio, if you have to implement a project which will take 6 months to implement, and in Informatica PowerCenter probably you can do that in a 4 months. So the effort which is required to integrate the data is less, and you will actually find the resources easily for Informatica PowerCenter compared to other ETL tools because of its easy integration methods and everything. So this is about the tool as such that we are going to talk about, that is your Informatica PowerCenter. So when you talk about what we are going to learn as part of this curriculum that I'm going to show you now, what we are going to do it, I think you might have already received the syllabus from the team, like what we are going to understand in this. Basically, we have prepared a curriculum. If you actually go to the Informatica University and take the training, this curriculum they have divided it as a two trainings. One is a Informatica PowerCenter Developer 1 course, another is called as a Informatica PowerCenter Developer 2 course. So if you have to attend two courses from the PowerCenter, but we have combined everything into a single curriculum and then we are teaching you. So what we are going to understand in this training is, first we will understand what is a data warehouse again in detail, and what is a BI, and we will understand about what is a OLTP system and what is a OLAP system, and what would be the different architectures of the data warehouse, and we will understand about the Kimball and Iman methodology, like which one is better and all, and what are the different types of OLAP tools. What I'm trying to say, we will also provide the complete details on the data warehousing theoretical concepts, like how to do that, and then we will understand about what is a data modeling and different data modeling tools which are available in the market, and what is a what is dimension, what is a fact, what are the different types of schemas that are available, and how do you create the tables in the data warehouse and data mart, that we are going to understand as a data modeling or a dimensional modeling process. And once you understand that, then we will talk about the what is again ETL, what are the different ETL tools and different Informatica products which we have. So Informatica has a products like data quality, and it also has a products like Informatica MDM and all those things. So this we will understand, and Informatica PowerCenter architecture, and we will talk about what is the ETL project lifecycle. How do you start an ETL project? Or what are the kind of documentation that you have to prepare in an ETL project? What do you do in the design? What do you do in the requirements? What do you do in the implementation phase? How do you migrate? All these kind of things will be discussed. And as part of this curriculum, this is very important, we are going to implement a real-time case study as part of this training. So I'm going to explain you the how to implement this project by touching the each and every feature in Informatica, and by the end of the training you will be implementing a separate retail project as part of this training. So the people will often ask us the question, are we going to understand about the real-time project? Yes, it is real-time project is already being included in the curriculum. So we are going to explain you process by process to understand what you're going to do in the project. So that's a real-time project that you understand. And these are the real-time case study that you're going to understand. You'll understand here like what is a OLTP tables, what is a staging tables, what is a dimension and fact tables, all these things we will define. So next thing is about the creating and we have identified by touching all the features in Informatica, we have created around 45 business use cases which will help you to fulfill your responsibilities in the Informatica PowerCenter jobs and everything. So you are going to implement all these 45 business use cases, which will help you to understand the in and out of Informatica. Okay, so we will understand about all these 45 business use cases, which will be discussed as part of that, and we will also help you to do the hands-on labs. So these things will be discussed. So let me just give you the full details about the training. So when you talk about the duration of the training, it will go for 40 to 45 hours including this. So it will go for a 40 to 45 hours. I mean, including it's mostly 40 hours, 35 to 40 hours, and somewhere it will take. And when you talk about the power center part, like what are the skills that we are going to cover, or what skills you gain as part of this training, is that you'll understand about the data warehouse basics in data warehousing, what is required for interview process, and we will also understand about the data modeling. So this will again we will also understand about the complete Informatica power center part, right? So you'll understand about it, and you'll also understand on the use of Unix shell scripting in Informatica. Like we're also going to learn about the basic Unix commands, how to write a Unix shell scripts, how to execute a Unix shell scripts from Informatica. All those Unix shell scripting is also being included in the training. And we will also understand about the basic PLSQL, like how to write a simple procedure, how to write a basics in PL SQL, not the advanced level of concepts, how to write a procedure, how to invoke the procedure, how to invoke the procedure from Informatica. All these things we will understand. So these are the takeaways for you to understand in terms of a Informatica Power Center training. So when you talk about the installation point of view, yes, we do provide the installation. We will provide you the Windows based VM, which will contain the Oracle 11G database, and you'll also have a SQL developer for practicing the SQLs and writing the SQLs. And we will also have the Informatica Power Center server and client both installed in it. And you mean to say the Informatica server and then the client both will be installed in this as part of a installation. It is a separate installation, will be provided at the free of the cost. There is no charge. Charges are included within the training fees. You don't need to pay anything extra for the installation, and this is a non-expiry one. It will not get expired. You can use it forever, whatever it is there. And when you talk about the next one, it is basically about the Unix server access. So it's basically when you go to Informatica real-time projects, all your Informatica servers are installed in the Unix based and Linux based environments. You're not going to see the Windows based environments. So in order to help the learners to understand the real-time case study or the real-time architecture, how it works, we are going to provide you the Informatica Unix server access, which will be there in our premise, and you're going to access that from your own machine. If you have an internet availability, you can connect to our server and practice the way how you work in the real time. Okay, so we are going to provide you this Unix server access till the end of the course. So suppose, let's say our course is taking, let's say, 45 days to complete it, and we will provide you the access something like 45 plus 7 days. Again, you'll have one more extra week to cover all the concepts and everything. So why we are providing you this Informatica Unix server access is because to help you to understand how the real-time scenario works. Because when you go in as an Informatica PowerCenter developer, you'll not install server and client both in your machine. You'll have client and you'll be connecting to the server which is there in your customer location. Let's say you're working for a Citibank. Your Informatica server will be installed in somewhere in Los Angeles or somewhere, and you'll be connecting from India to that server. Right. So to help you that kind of a environment, to help you with the real-time environment, so we have set up this Informatica Unix server access, wherein we will provide you the VPN access for you to help you to access the Unix based server, whatever it is there. So it is almost that 2 months will be provided for you. So within the 2 months, it will help you to understand all the concepts and everything you can use and then do that. So basically, this is more about the what takeaways that you're going to take out of this training, and what is the duration, installation, and everything that you have. And this is we cover both, when you talk about the Informatica Power Center use cases, will help you to understand the basics in Informatica as well as advanced concepts in Informatica. As I said, it is going to be a complete package. See, by the end of this training, if you are implementing the assignments what we are giving, if you are implementing all the business use cases what we are discussing here, you can walk in as a more than 3-year-old Informatica Power Center developer experience from here, because we have stuffed so much curriculum into it to help the learners in a better way to understand all the Informatica Power Center roles and responsibilities what we generally use it. So when you talk about the other things like a resume preparation and all those things, yes, so we do also help you to prepare the resumes, and we will also help you to forward your profiles to the suitable job openings, and we will also assist you in all these kind of things. So that's a resume preparation is one part which we have, and we will also help you with the interview preparation, in the sense like how do you need to prepare for interviews, what kind of questions that you expect in the interviews. So all these things will be discussed as part of even the interview preparation as well. We will be helping you, and we also have a channel here where you can find out so many things on our YouTube channel. If you go to basically the youtube.com and search for a tech classes, so you'll have so many videos which we have posted to help the people to understand the real-time concepts and everything. So if you see, you can go here and understand whatever the things what we have. So you can understand from here what are the interview preparation videos that you have, how to explain in the interviews and everything. You can be there, and you can also subscribe to this channel. So if you see, there are almost around 1700 customers who are actually subscribed to this. We'll also notify you with the different other videos whenever there is something which is required, or the real-time use cases, business use cases, and the real-time case studies. Everything will be discussed in the form of video learning, and then that will be posted to the video, so you'll be informed about it and all these things. So these are the complete details about the Informatica Power Center course, how we are going to learn as part of the curriculum. So I'll just show you the demo of this Informatica Power Center, how the tools look like, and how do you create the programs and all. So basically, this is a very simple thing. So if you see the Informatica 961, you'll have 4 clients which will help you to create the programs, like a designer and the repository manager and the workflow manager and workflow monitor. So when you go for a designer, in designer you'll create the programs. Okay, so in order to create the programs, let me show you the sample program how it looks. Basically, if you try to see that, you'll have a this is your Informatica 961. Suppose, let's say, if you'd like to see the sample program how it looks, so this is a graphical user interface of your Informatica. So if you try to see, let's say you have to build a program to move the data from employee table, which is in Oracle database, to the staging table ODS underscore employee, which is also in Oracle database. So how do you create a program for it, and how the data moves? So this is a sample program what we have. So there is another tool called as a workflow manager tool, which helps you to execute the programs and which helps you to schedule the programs. Basically, the integration of data from all these transactional system is a continuous process. Every day you'll integrate the data from all these systems. So we are going to schedule the programs in this. So if you see, this is how the interface looks. And there is another one called as a workflow monitor, wherein you'll understand the whether the program is successfully completed, whether program has resulted in any errors, whether it is aborted or anything. Those things you can find out from the workflow monitor. So this is a user interface what we have. I can understand what are all the uses and everything out of this. So this is how you can see here. See, this is succeeded, like how many rows it has loaded, how many rows it has extracted. All these things will be there here in the workflow monitor. So as a developer, you're going to use these three tools very frequently, and there is another tool called as a repository manager as well. Sometimes we'll also use this tool, and for what reason we use and all that we will understand in a very detailed way when we go to the Informatica classes. So this is overall picture of your Informatica Power Center and what it is about, right? So if you have any questions now, you can go ahead one by one. So I'll just try to help you out. All right. So all of you are on mute, in case if you have any questions, I'm actually unmute. I have a question here from Srinivas. Are you going to cover the performance tuning? Yes. So if you see our syllabus copy, it will talk about performance tuning in Informatica, how to do the partitioning in Informatica, how do we implement the push down optimization in Informatica. So this covers you this one. Is MDM is also included in the curriculum? No. So the MDM, you have to take it as a separate course. We are going to teach you only the Informatica Power Center, what it is there. So yeah, so that's what, like most of the people will get confused whether we are going to teach. When you say that Informatica is all about, there are three popular products which are being used in the industry. One is Informatica Power Center, and another is called as a Informatica Data Quality, which is often said as IDQ, and you also have another one, Informatica MDM. So in this curriculum, we are going to understand about only the Informatica Power Center part, but we do also provide the trainings on Informatica Data Quality as well as Informatica MDM. We do also provide, but you have to take them as a separate curriculum. Yes, we do. But as part of an Informatica Power Center course, this MDM is not included, right? MDM is not included as part of that. So do you provide the requirement and mapping documents to create the mappings? Yes. So if you go here, this is a documentation of soft copies which we are going to provide, and which will give you the mapping documents, for this project. This is a mapping document which you have, that is your data mapping sheet and everything. And we will also help you to implement all these soft copies of hands-on labs which we have. And we also have a sample technical design documents which it is there, sample migration documents, how to implement the CDCs, and we also have so many Informatica scenarios which is required for an interviews in the form of a soft copy. Each and everything will be provided as part of the training. I mean, that's materials that we are going to provide. All right. Okay. So MDM or IDQ mandatory for an Informatica developer? Not mandatory. See, the tools are used for a different purposes. When you talk about an IDQ, IDQ is completely used for data profiling and data standardization and data enrichment and address validation. All these kind of an issues will be determined from a IDQ. So MDM is used, address validation. So MDM is used for creating a master data hub, in the sense like when you have a multiple versions of the data, master data hub, this is used. That is, it is not mandatory. There are jobs alone which exist for an Informatica Power Center developer itself. So if you want to learn IDQ, that means if you are going in as a maybe 7-year-old, 8-year-old Informatica Power Center developer, then adding another tool like an MDM and data quality will help you to get into the job very quickly. But if you're going in as a 3-year-old junior developer, you don't need to learn data quality and MDM, and only the Power Center is enough. In case if you'd like to portray yourself as a the Informatica architect or an Informatica data higher experience, then you require Power Center as Power Center or MDM, a Power Center and MDM, or Power Center and data quality. Any one path you can choose and then do that. But as a whole, you don't require. Can you email the questions to you after the class? Yes. See how the things works here is, first we will demonstrate in the class, you're going to implement those in the class, and once if you have any questions, the questions will be cleared in the next class. First we will discuss about all the questions and everything, and then move on to the next hands-on lab. So that is how you can do it. And also our Informatica team here will be available to answer your questions. Always you can mail them, and you can also ping them on the WhatsApp. In case if you're stuck with any hands-on when you're practicing from your home, you can always ping them. They will be helping you on the WhatsApp and the emails, everything. And you can also get in touch with them during the working hours of the company. So whenever they are in office, you can also get in touch with them, and they will also help you to do that. So is this a daily course or only on the weekends? See, we do have weekend batches, which basically for a US people, it will be very late. Basically, our weekend batch will start from 10 a.m. IST to the 1 p.m. IST. So which will be very late for the US people. And for weekday classes, this batch which we are going to start from day after tomorrow, weekday batch, it actually starts from the 7:30 a.m. every day, 7:30 a.m. IST to 8:45 a.m. IST. So this is weekday batch, in the sense like it will be there if you're in the Indian calendar, it will be there from Tuesday to Saturday. Tuesday to Saturday. For US calendar, it is basically nothing but 10 p.m. EST. I'm giving you the time in EST, 10 p.m. EST to 11:15 EST, which it is there, and it will be there from Monday to Friday. It will not be there on the weekends if you are attending the weekday course. If you are going for a weekend classes, then it will be there only on the Saturday and Sunday. So this is for a weekend classes. It's only on the Indian time, Saturday and Sunday. And for you as well, you can also use this Saturday or Sunday, what it is there. Saturday and Sunday, not Saturday or Sunday, it's Saturday and Sunday, which will be there. That is a weekend class that we have. So, but this batch which we are going to start, that is only for a weekdays. You will not have a classes on the weekends. That's a week. It is a weekday batch. Any other questions from anyone? So I hope I have given you all the details, what is required for you to understand in a demo. Yes. Hmm?
Hey, Karthik.
Yeah, we will see if you're joining in a classroom training. So we'll have a system here. You can bring your laptop, you can plug in, and the labs and all you can implement it after the class. So we will help you out to prepare the hands-on lab and everything. And once the demonstration is done, you can start with this. So for doing a lab work, that's what we said. Like we are giving you the Unix server access. You can log into our server every day if you have an internet access at home or PG, and then start working on the direct thing. We will set up that what is required for a hands-on. Yes, Swaminathan, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Actually, is there any email that communication happening? Like so far, I have not received anything about the syllabus. How is the classes planned?
Okay, so in case if you have not received it, so we will send you the complete details, or you can just drop. Anyway, I'll be taking all your emails and the phone numbers now, and you can also drop a test mail here for a syllabus copy and all. Then we will reply back to you with what are the things that we are going to start and everything.
Okay.
Right. So I need all